Live from Honolulu, Hawaii, it's Baptiz by Fire. And here's your host, Justin Baptiz.
Welcome back to another episode of Baptiz by Fire, Conversations with Justin, where we dive into the stories, struggles, and triumphs of our incredible guests. And I'm your host, Justin Baptiz. The great state of North Dakota, we are here with a very special guest, and this athlete has put in great work. She spent the last 2 seasons at North Dakota, and most recently decided to take a visit, 5 college visits, and recently committed to the University of San Francisco. We are here with basketball forward Nevaeh Ferrara Horne. How you doing, my friend? Good to see you.
I'm doing great. Good to see you too. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. What can I say about you here? You've been doing quite the journey. As I
For
just
sure.
as I just mentioned to you, 5 college visits. Tell us about that experience for you, which led you to committing to the University of San Francisco.
Yeah. All the schools that I visited were great, had great people. I had a great time, ate a lot of food, got to see some cool things, all their facilities. It was awesome. It was a great experience that you don't get to have very often in your life. So I'm very grateful for that and all the schools who showed interest. But for me, the University of San Francisco, there was so many things that just were great about the school and a lot of checked boxes there in terms of teammates, coaches, facilities, environment, culture. I think I can really develop there, and I'm really excited about the West Coast Conference.
Now, in regards to that, you were at North Dakota for the last 2 seasons. You'll be entering your junior year in the 2026-2027 season. What led you to entering the NCAA transfer portal?
Yeah, there's a couple reasons, but for me, I really didn't expect to enter the portal. Honestly, I really love my team. I really think we had a lot of potential. This is just kind of how the I guess college basketball world has gone these days. I didn't expect to enter it, but there was just some personal reasons as well for me entering the portal. But I'm also really excited to explore and try new things. Like like I said, I can really develop at the University of San Francisco, and I'm really excited for everything that they have to offer.
Now, in regards to that, how will you ensure that they not only meet your athletic needs, but also your personal and academic needs as well, since you are
Yeah.
actually joining the university?
Yeah, well, as for personal needs, I think San Francisco is a great city. I'll have a lot to do. I met some great teammates on my visit, and we kind of explored around there. There's so much to do. I have a million pictures in my camera roll from then. And then as for academic needs, I'm in business, so it's not very easy to transfer over classes. And I've always been pretty good at time management, so I'm not too concerned in that. I know that it will be a good program, and I think that I will also be able to excel there and get a degree that matters.
Now, given the evolving nature of college athletics, when you were in the NCAA transfer portal, I know you had about 5 college visits and you're picking and choosing the different schools that you were going to visit to or whatnot. Did you
Mhm.
have any concerns about the transfer portal process?
Maybe a bit, because going into it, you don't know what to expect. You don't know how many schools will be interested. You don't know if there is going to be a good fit for you. Um, And for me, it was a very different process than coming out of high school. Like coming out of high school, I didn't have as much exposure, so I wasn't talking to as many schools, and I really just went on one visit and committed, and that was the University of North Dakota. But this time around, I wanted to really be sure that I am going to the right school, the right fit, and luckily I was very grateful to have lots of options of schools that I could go to. But I know, like I said, in my high school process, it was much different. So I was really able to know what I'm looking for this time around. So I felt very confident making my decision.
As you mentioned, you've gone through the process of basketball and kind of getting through everything to get you to the place that you're at right now. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
you're from Regina, Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
And I want to kind of, take an early beginning, standpoint from that standpoint. What's it like from there? What's the basketball landscape about? And what
Yeah.
made you kind of realize you wanted to pursue a career in basketball?
Well, my parents put me in basketball at a young age just because I was tall, and I didn't love it the first day. I was actually crying. This was probably in like grade 3, grade 2, maybe. I was really young. But then I think the second day, I just loved it, and ever since, I just enjoyed it so much. I love the competitive aspect of it, as well as just meeting new people and having fun along the way. So that's kind of how I got into it. But then once I got older, it became more serious to me, and I think that came from having success as well. Seeing myself succeed was like giving me motivation to keep going and want to play at the next level. And just coming from Regina, Saskatchewan, it's a very good basketball province. Honestly, I think it's underrated in terms of like the athletes there. Just because if I would have, I'm honestly moved to Ontario, which is another province in Canada, for my grade 12 year of basketball, just so that I could get the exposure. So it's very hard for Saskatchewan athletes to come play down south in the States because there's not as much exposure there as there should be. So I had to make that move for myself in grade 12 to give myself the opportunity to come play down here. But I think a lot of Saskatchewan athletes deserve more recognition.
Now, you mentioned about being from Saskatchewan. I know that your family pursued you to
Yeah.
get into basketball. Um, is there a specific athlete or anybody that's, inspiring to you
Mm-hmm.
on the basketball level?
I wouldn't say anyone in particular, but if I really had to pick, I'd probably say Kobe Bryant, just because I liked his mentality a lot. Obviously, the Mamba mentality. I have a few of his books, and I've read them. And I also think that a lot of the quotes he has are very motivational and just inspire me to kind of keep going when it's hard. But it's not like I like he wasn't the first person who really got me into basketball. I would say like what really motivates me is just my parents for I mean they played sports in high school, wasn't basketball, but just their motivation and their willingness to really help me get to the next level. I think that's who really inspires me. But if I had to say like a real athlete, I would say Kobe for sure.
Now, when we talk about just the growth and the development for you from when you started until now, and even reaching college and playing 2 years at the University of North Dakota, back in the 2023-2024 year, you averaged 2.1 points, 2.0 in rebounds, 29.7 from the field, 4.2 in three, and 84.2 from the free throw line. And, your last season, just the 2024-2025 year, you averaged 5.9 points per game, 2.1 in rebounds, 1.2 in assists, 38.8 from the field, 32.1 from three, and 80.8 from the free throw line. When you compare and contrast those statistics, what changed in your game and how did you improve throughout the years?
Well, of course, you learn a lot in your first year. And also, I put a lot of work in the off season to improve. But what I will say is that I feel like my second year, I feel like I had a lot more experience in the college level and you just know what to expect. But I will also say that I really had more confidence from my coaches, especially our associate head coach gave a lot of confidence in me, just shoot the ball with confidence. Because my first year, right, I had 4%. And that was about probably 22, 23, 24 attempts, something like that. But I will say that having the confidence, that's what really helped me. I really built my confidence and also got in the gym a bunch because in high school, I'd always been a shooter. And I think just having someone who believes in you really helps. And in terms of everything else, I will say that it was just a really fun year. My team, we were a very young team. We had no seniors on the team. So I kind of was forced to step up and learn through my mistakes. And I think this year I got a whole lot better. I feel very confident. I'm super excited to keep developing at the University of San Francisco. And I just know it's going to be up from here.
Now, when we talk about just your growth and your development, I got to ask you about playing the forward position in basketball.
Mm-hmm.
What can you say that you enjoy about that position and what makes it most fun?
Well, I would say I'm very versatile. I can play pretty much any position on the floor, also depending on who's guarding me. But in terms of the forward, I like it because to me, that's kind of like a 3-4 spot, maybe more of a 4. And you can really do a lot of things. You can shoot the three, you can drive, you can post up a mismatch. I think it's just a very versatile position, at least for me, because that's kind of how I play. I'm taller, but I can shoot it and drive. But also, if I have a mismatch, I can also post them up, and I feel like I can guard the positions 1 through 5 as well. So I really like that about my game, but also in terms of like the forward position.
Yeah, I mean, the basketball evolution has changed. It just seems like everybody can shoot 3-pointers now, and
Yeah,
it's a 3-point league, I guess you could say, which is the way that formations are set and pick and rolls and box out screens and whatever you call it. What can you say about the 3-point evolution that just makes it so special or dynamic? Because, back in the day, you never really saw centers or forwards really shooting threes. It's always like the guard.
yeah, yeah. I think that it forces people to come up and guard you and makes it harder to know what you're going to do, either shoot it or drive it. If you want to close out too far, they can just attack on you, or if you're not closed out far enough, they can just shoot it. So I think that's also really important for forwards or taller players in my position to be able to shoot it, because it opens up a whole new world of opportunities on the court. Because if you can only really play inside, I mean, unless that's your game and you're a 5 or a center, I feel like for the most part, like, it helps you in so many ways on the floor. And that just, it made me realize this past year, like, it opens up way more driving lanes being able to shoot the ball.
Yeah, you can also just pick and pop as well, too, depending on where
Exactly.
you're.
Exactly.
Looking back on your basketball career so far and how you've just been growing and improving in your career, what obstacles or things, let's just say, have you gone through that's gotten you to the place that you are mentally?
And like through high school as well, or just college?
Whichever you want to prefer to say.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I will say, like I said, is being from Saskatchewan, having the dreams to play Division I basketball, I had to work hard for everything. Like, moving away from my grade 12 year in prep school and playing in the best prep league in Canada was very much of a risk, and there were no guarantees with that. And having to do that was hard. I had to live away from home, hardly saw my family all year. I moved away at 16, and it was hard. There were weekends where I lived in a team house, so there were weekends where, because I was the only kid from out of province, I would be the only one at home, and I would be the only one at the team house, and everyone else would go home for the weekend. And it was hard, but it was really good because it really forced me to grow early on and mature very quickly. And I feel like the competition was just so great at that level, especially coming from Saskatchewan, where they don't have a league like that. I was just able to get better very fast and be more prepared for the college level. So it was very difficult to do that. And I did have a great year there. So that's kind of how I got some recognition from the States. But if I wouldn't have moved, I would have probably played somewhere in Canada, which is no problem. It's just was not my goal or dream to do. So I'm very proud of myself for that, because it was a tough decision to make, to move out there and then come down to the States.
Now, with that being said, is there anything that you wish you would have known when you first started out in your career?
I will just say that experience does matter, but at the same time, like, just knowing that you can compete with who you're playing against no matter what. Like I said, experience makes a big difference, but at the same time, just having that confidence that you're just as good as anybody out there, no matter how big they are, tall they are, how long they've played in the league. You can show up and make a difference, because, like I said, we had a really young team this past year, and we proved some people wrong. So I think there's always opportunities for just upsets or proving people wrong, I think, overall.
Now, you had 2 seasons at North Dakota. Any specific basketball memory that will stand out for you right now in your career?
Yeah, I really loved when we played North Dakota State at home this past year and we beat them. We had a big crowd, and it was a very close game at the end, really. But those games always have a lot of emotion involved because it's a rivalry that's been going on for years. And when we beat them, it was just an amazing feeling, just being able to celebrate with my teammates, and they're my best friends, really. So it was such a good time. And just having my dad there to watch as well. And obviously my family's always watching over the TV. And that was just a big win for us, because those rivalry games have a lot of emotion, and it was so fun.
Talk about just the memories. You talk about just the confidence and the support that you've had in your career and how you're striving for excellence, I kind of want to go back on something. You spent the last 2 seasons at North Dakota. I'm sure when you were getting out of high school, you probably had a list of schools or probably a few that you had in mind before picking North Dakota. What made you decide North Dakota at the time?
To be honest, I didn't have that many options. I had a couple, but not as many as now. So North Dakota was my first visit that I went on in grade 12, which is honestly pretty late. Like usually people go on visits throughout their whole their whole high school career. But I went just in grade 12. So I went on this one visit, and knowing it's the closest Division I school to my house, 7-hour drive. And I really enjoyed my visit. I liked what they had to offer. I liked their facilities, and I met some girls on the team on my visit. One of them actually being Miranda Vanderwall from Ontario, Canada. So that's a kind of a small world, just knowing they recruit Canadians is also pretty cool as well. So I just liked my visit overall and liked that it was close to home.
Talk about being from Canada and just traveling the world and traveling to places and going on the college visits
Mm-hmm.
and getting your new commitment to University of San Francisco. Can you tell us what that's like being a college athlete, just having to go through the visits and just the mental side of it? And if you could give any advice to the next generation of people who could be in your shoes.
I will say the visits are very exciting. They're fun. They're definitely jam packed with things going on all day, so you don't get much time to rest. But I mean, that's what it's all about. It's very fun. The fact that I went on 4 back to back maybe was why I was tired by the end of it, but I had so much fun, and each school treated me very well. And as for advice I would give, is that I would just say, like, just enjoy it, honestly. Like, it's an exciting time. If you're going through the transfer portal, if you're looking to commit to a school, just have fun, because it's not something that happens all the time. And, having schools interested in you is just an amazing opportunity. And I would say that I will never take it for granted at all. I had a great time. I'm glad that I'm committed now for sure. But I will say that not everyone has this opportunity. So just cherish it while you can.
You mentioned about the opportunities. You mentioned about just the next phase for you right now. What can we expect from you? Long-term goals. I know you got something, we've all been in the business side of things, but what would you say would be your long-term goals? What's next for you?
Potentially playing pro overseas. I know University of San Francisco has sent multiple girls playing pro in Europe, so that would be definitely an option for me. In terms of academically with my business degree, I just like it because it's very creative and there's a lot of things you can do with it. So I'm not quite sure exactly what I want to do with it yet, but my dad owns a business, actually, has 2 locations in Saskatchewan. So he kind of inspires me to do something in the business field. Again, I don't know what exactly, but I don't know if I'll be done playing basketball right away once I'm done college.
And would you say that you would have probably had that type of career if it wasn't for basketball?
I'm not sure, because I was very close to entering the medical field, but I wasn't completely sure. So I didn't want to go into it while playing college basketball because I know it's a huge load. So not being 100% sure, I also like the business management course that North Dakota offered. So I was kind of a bit torn. And at that point, I was like, I'll go into business, because if I'm not sure about going into the medical field, then that's just a lot of work and then it's hard to get out of. So I was like, if I'm not sure, I'll just go with business. And right now I'm really enjoying it. So I'm glad that I did.
You mentioned about your family being such a big inspiration and big influence to you and your life and just everything that you got going on right now. Who are you mostly thankful for the process that you got going on right now?
Oh, honestly, I can't say one person, but I would just say both of my parents, because they have been with me through this whole process. They have helped me get to where I am today. And if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here right now. And they have had huge impacts on my life so far. And I've valued their decisions in this process so much. I couldn't make a decision without them. They came on multiple visits with me. My mom went on 2, my dad went on 2, and then I went on 1 by myself. But the ones that they came on, it was just very, very important for me, because relying on them to help me make a decision was just so important, because I know that they want what's truly best for me, and they can give another perspective on things, honestly, like that I may be not able to see in the moment.
Last question I have for you. Who is Nevaeh Ferrara Horne as a person, as an athlete?
I will say I am a very motivated and kind person, and I'm just very excited about life. I love to go to the gym. I love to work out. I love to play basketball, obviously, but there's things that I love to do off the court, such as hanging out with my friends a lot, exploring new things, going outside, baking, listening to music. I'm learning to cook. I learned how to cook a steak like a couple weeks ago, so that's really fun. And I have 2 sisters at home, so they both play basketball. I love doing things with them and working out with them, honestly. They're my little prodigies. So I'm helping them, and hopefully I can help them get to this next level as well.
Amazing, amazing. Well, if you ever need any recipes, let me know, because I cook as well too. So.
Sounds good.
Well, it's been a pleasure to interview you. I am wishing you nothing but the best. Welcome to the West Coast.
Thank you.
And hopefully, we'll get a chance to see you soon. Hopefully you'll make a trip out to Hawaii and get a chance to catch up.
Yeah, sounds great. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
And that concludes another conversation with Justin. You can reach Justin Baptiz on any of the social media handles listed here. So, until we meet again, remember, it's Baptiz by 5.